Here is my sourdough recipe and routine all in one video. First that morning, I feed my starter. You need to feed it enough so that you have 100 grams of active starter. I'm doing a double batch, so I fed it more. Hours later, it's time to start the dough. In a big bowl, mix 100 grams of starter and 350 grams of warm water. Those are two options that I like to use to stir my dough. Mix up the starter and water until it's milky, then add 500 grams of flour and 10 grams of sea salt or regular salt. Mix it up really well until you have a shaggy dough. Cover and let it sit on the counter for 1 hour. Now it's time to do the first stretch and fold. We're gonna act like there's 4 sides to this. Stretch one side up and slap it to the other side. Do this on all 4 sides. Once you're done, you're going to cover it and let it sit for 30 minutes, and you're going to repeat it 3 more times, letting it sit for 30 minutes in between. Once all those stretch and folds are done, you're going to cover it again and let it sit for 6 to 10 hours until it doubles in size. I like to create a warm environment in my kitchen so it does it faster because I'm usually doing this process at midnight. Throw your dough onto a lightly floured surface. It should be pillowy and not super sticky. I'm going to lightly pull it so that you have a sheet of dough. Lightly stretch one side, fold it to the center, and then do the same to the other side. From here, you're going to roll from the bottom all the way up. Once it's rolled all the way up, you want to create tension in the ball of dough. You push it away from you and then pull it tightly by tucking underneath. And you're just going to repeat this until you have a tight ball of dough. Flip your ball of dough into a floured banneton. You can also use a tea towel and a colander for this. Sit on the counter for 1 hour, then put it in the fridge overnight. Next morning, it's time to bake. You can use this silicone thing or you can use parchment paper. Flip it onto the parchment paper and then flour the top. You can use this lame, whatever it's called, or you can just use a regular knife and do an X on the top. I had my Dutch oven preheating in the oven at 450 degrees for about 30 minutes. Put the dough in there with a couple of ice cubes on the side. Put the lid on. It's going to bake at 450 degrees for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, take the lid off and bake for another 15 minutes. I don't like part 1 or part 2 videos as much as you guys. But I'm trying to avoid making a super long video. But if this is going too fast, I can make a part 1 and part 2 video. I waited an hour before I cut into it. This turned out delicious, and let me know what you think.